Okay, so today I'm going to show you what I think are the best amp models in your Fractal product, whether it's the AxeFx, the FM9, or the FM3. I don't hear a lot of talk about these amps, but I use them on a daily basis, and I think they sound the most real and they feel the most real. So without further ado, let's start with the first one. What's up, everybody? I'm Joey. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a professional guitar player, singer, songwriter, and producer, and I use the Fractal FM9 all the time. I've been using it for a couple of years now and still super satisfied with how it's sounding. But before we dive in, a quick reminder, if you want to learn that style of soloing, that style of playing that you just heard, check out my guitar courses in the description down below. Especially the melodic soloing course is perfect if you want to learn that style of soloing. But if you're more into the tabs and backing tracks of the stuff I'm playing here, if you want to get access to my link library, check out my Patreon community in the description down below as well. Super fun over there. I just launched it a couple weeks ago, and I drop that kind of material there every month, so check it out. So about the Cameron CCV2A, to me that amp model is perfect if you're like me and want to start your start off your sound with a mid-gain kind of tone. I like that edge of breakup crunchiness. Very British, very JCM 800, and the big difference between this amp and the JCM 800 is this amp cleans up so well. No matter if you play it like that or you drive it really hard, for some reason it retains a perfect amount of clarity when you roll back the volume, and I do that a lot. So that is what reminds me of a real amp so much. So let's try this with just my bass tone here. Roll back the volume, add some delay maybe. You get that perfect clean sound, even though you have a mid-gain tone going on full volume. Roll it back like not even halfway. It retains so much treble when you roll it back, almost like there's a treble pleat or something. And that amp just reacts so well to that. And if you're like me and you like to, have different shades of gain at your disposal by rolling back the volume, it's perfect. Now, you might have heard that amp sounds a little bit thin on the upper strings when you're playing single notes. When you boost it, you want to boost it with something that has a little bit of mids going on. I'm using the Diamond Boost EQ. By the way, all my pedals are in the description down below as affiliate links if you want to check out my gear. The Diamond Boost EQ boosts the upper mids in this setting. And there you go. There's the fatness in your notes. Now, the best thing about this is now we have a boosted tone, but still, when you roll back the volume, it cleans up perfectly. And now we have so much more gain going on. This is what I would call a fluid lead tone, right? If I roll it back just a little bit, crystal clear, crystal clean. So it's the perfect rock amp for everybody who wants to play expressively with different shades of gain. And that's what we're going to do now, just to check it out a little bit. Here's a loop with some music. second amp that I can highly recommend, and not a lot of people are using it in their Fractal products, is the Diezel VH4 Channel 2. No, not 3, Channel 2. What's important here to understand is the Diezel VH4 is indeed a metal amp, and most players use it for that. But the Channel 2 is very, very close to an actual JCM 800, but it reacts completely different when you actually play it. It's a lot stiffer, it's a lot tighter, and it's a lot more direct, aggressive, and has a lot more attack. But here's the thing, there's a magic setting in your Fractal that makes all the Diezel VH4 channels sound way better than they would by default. So let's look at my settings here. This is the bass tone. And you can hear it is that kind of Marshall crunch, but it's way too thick in the mids, right? But my EQ doesn't show any drastic moves, so why is that? Diesels in general, in real life too, not only in the models, they like to be biased a little bit colder. Otherwise, they just pump up the mids so much, and it's like a muddy mid-range that you always have it. Just a little bit too thick in the mids. So what you do, you reduce that by, let's say, 50%, and listen to that, you get that very, very tidy, nice crunch sound. Way clearer, no more muddy mid-range, it's all gone. And not only that, it's actually begging for a booster in front. So what I use here is just a drive pedal in front of the amp. It's the BB Pre-model, nothing drastic, but it turns into this massive killer rock sound. Let's add some vibe for the funsies. Not too bad either, I think. It's a lot more aggressive, it has a lot more gain, but still, you can get super good sounds out of it. It's just a more aggressive British rock sound. Highly recommended. Try it. By the way, if you're liking those tones, I have a master FM9 preset in my shop. Check it out in the description down below. If you're playing the Fractal FM9, I have a master preset with 4 amps, 8 different scenes, different effects, different delay types, and all that kind of stuff. All level matched, so you can use them live. You can use it in the studio. You can use it in your band practice. So check it out in the description down below if you're interested in that. Third amp model that I think is just brilliantly made is the 5153 100 watt blue channel. So let's say the mid gain channel of that 5150 EVH kind of amps. And I use them for one specific reason, and that is drop B tuning. See, the 5153 stays incredibly tight when you tune a guitar down to absurd tunings like drop B, especially when you're playing a vintage telly that only has 6 strings. But that's not the only thing that the 5153 does really, really well. It kind of is still a rock tone. It's not as metally sounding as some other amps, but it's not brilliant when you roll it down, but you still can get super usable sounds out of the 5153 when you roll down the volume if you want to switch between more mellow kind of sounds and then super heavy kind of sounds. It sounds like this. And from here, you can go right back into it's not too bad. You go from super mellow sounds back to real heavy kind of sounds. And while the 5150 or 5153 as it's called here is not the perfect amp for all these flexible kind of things because it's mainly a heavy rock amp, it does do well when you tune down your guitar. Steady bottom end, super usable mellow kind of semi-driven tones, and you know, everything in between. Okay, a little bonus tone for you at the end. We're going to use the 5153 again. I boosted it with that BB preamp from the tone before, and we add some vibe to it and some delay. I'm going to play some Foxy Lady Jimi Hendrix drop B style. Everybody, those have been my 3 favorite amp models, super underrated amp models in my opinion in the Fractal world. If you own an FM9, FM3 and AxeFx, try these. They are just brutally good. If you want to have my preset for the FM9, check it out in the description down below. And if you like this video, if you learned something today about tone crafting, subscribe. Click the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Leave a comment below how you liked it, and see you in the next one. Bye.